Trivandrum. Ma'am, we are honored to have your gracious presence among us.
Dipti ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
Annie ma'am has not been able to join. We may go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. So, dear participants, now without much ado, let us welcome our resource person for our today's session, that is Mrs. Priya Murle. Ma'am is a teaching professional who has over 2 decades of teaching experience in the schools in Madurai, Mumbai, and Muscat. She started her wonderful journey as a teacher at the Mahatma Montessori Matriculation High Secondary School, Madurai, from time period that is 1990 to 1994. She has worked with the Indian School Muscat from 2001 to 2020 as a teacher in the primary section. Ma'am is currently the principal of Mahatma Global Gateway, that is CAIE, Madurai. Priya Ma'am is a pioneer assessor for School Quality Assessment and Accreditation, SQA, by CBSE, a lead auditor registered with International Registrar of Certified Auditors, IRCA, and also a certified NABET assessor. Priya Ma'am was the first person from the Sultanate of Oman to be selected as a pioneer assessor for SQA, conducted by CBSE. She has been awarded with the prestigious Best Teacher Award in 2018 by CBSE, the only person to receive the award in the Gulf for that year. She is also a resource person for CBSE COE. Ma'am has authored a book on experiential learning. An engineering specialist in relationship management, she has created a niche for raising the bar of performance of the teachers and the students. Ma'am, on behalf of everyone present here, I welcome you. I request you to take over the proceeding for the evening. Let us all take the advantage of this opportunity to grow and learn together. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Doctor, am I audible first? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Priya ma'am.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My greetings to Dr. Abdul Salam sir, Sarita Warrior ma'am, Arun Mohan sir, Deepthi Lewis, and a host of teachers, who have joined. Yes. So, and a host of teachers who have joined today's session to understand what actually is, teacher evaluation, or in other words, staff appraisals. Okay. So let me share the screen with you all. Right. Can your hands move onto the chat box, please? Your hands on the chat box. Hands on to the chat box, please. Yes. My first question to you, what is your understanding of a staff appraisal? What is your understanding? What is your take on a staff appraisal, please? Can I get some answers for that? Self-evaluation, okay. Okay. I said staff appraisal. So you're putting words like self-evaluation, motivation. Okay. What do you mean by staff appraisal? Now, the staff being evaluated, right? All staff evaluation. This is a more appropriate answer, right? Very, very, very highlights. No. Okay. Let me, go back so that nobody gets confused with between performance management and staff appraisal. Okay. So you all basically have to understand, what do you mean by appraisal? Appraisal here means how to apprise someone about their strengths, how to apprise themselves about their weaknesses, or how do I get that required improvement in the particular teacher? Okay, so here we are talking of staff, right? And we are related to school. So that is why it is also called as teacher appraisals. That is also called as teacher appraisals. Okay, so staff, so let us understand why we need to do this appraisal and what are the different questions that could come during the appraisal. Okay, and I request you to only note down the points so that during your course of work in school you can reflect upon whether these points have been undertaken by you during the course of the year, right? Now, so first question, what is a staff appraisal? Okay, a staff appraisal is a tool to support employees in their professional development. How does a novice teacher become an what you call experienced teacher? A novice teacher or a newly joined teacher, makes mistakes every day, and when these mistakes are reflected upon, okay, that is where your novice translates into experience. So, for these purposes, appraisals are conducted by schools, okay, to intimate to their teachers. Here I'm going to only use the word teachers, okay, to understand, okay, okay, how an employee is faring and what they need to be better at the job in a more precise and in a better way. So this is what it is, something that has got to do with self-improvement in their jobs. This is something to do with self-improvement at workplace, something to do with with a positive wordings from their employers to reflect upon their let me tell you their way of handling things in school. Okay, next question, is an appraisal the same as a performance review? Staff appraisal and performance review are two different terms. The staff appraisal is something which could probably take place 3 or 4 times in a year. In good schools, they normally do it 3 to 4 times in a year. But a performance review is something which is done more towards the end of the year. So an appraisal and a performance review are two different things. So next thing, what all should I keep in mind, or what all will I be noticed for when a staff appraisal takes place? This is what I want you to figure out. Okay, now we all have been going through this process of staff appraisal. What is the most important thing that you are being told about in your appraisal? Can somebody type it in the type box? What is that you have been asked by your managers or your so-called head of the departments or your vice principals? Okay, what is that? What is your learning this year? But this would be probably at your end month. I'm looking for some goals that you have achieved during maybe 2 months or 3 months. Yes, any more answers? Yes? Any more answers? Nobody seems to be answering today. Student performance. Yes. How has your student performance been? Yes. Self-upgradation. What are your SMART goals? How effective was your class? What is your achievement? What are your, what is your achievement as your teacher? How is your classroom management? Fantastic. Fantastic answers. what have the learning outcomes been achieved? Okay, fantastic, super. Then are the students, do you display versatility? Are you adaptable to the school? What about the slow learners? Great, great, absolutely splendid. Now, so what is your teaching methodology? Have you learned something very, very new? Okay, absolutely fantastic answers. So keeping that in mind, I go, what have you done for weak students? Fantastic, Sunidhi. Fabulous, superb, absolutely great. Any more? Or should I move to my next slide? Fantastic. The TLM used in class, fantastic. What are the 21st century skills incorporated? What are the learning outcomes, Bindu? Fantastic, Bindu. Any more? Preparing an annual curricular plan, lesson plans. What are your objectives? Do you, include, yes, what is the self-assessment rubric? So, very beautifully, as stated by y'all, you can find that these are actually the, smaller chunks which are achieved over a period of time during a term. Okay, fantastic. So let me go to the next slide. Now, let me go to the next slide. So, where are, I listed out a big chunk of things where staff could be appraised in so many areas, but I have generally condensed, what all schools normally look forward to. Reporting time to school is 7 o'clock. 5 days a month, you are coming late. Okay. So you can be called by your authority and said, my dear, your reporting time to school, is 7 o'clock and you're coming happily to school at 7:20. So this is one area where you can be appraised. Then is the staff following the dress code? This is one very, 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 very important. There is dress code for staff. Some of them don't abide by the rules of the school, so is the staff following a dress code? Is the staff decently dressed, pinning up the sari at the right place? Then, everything, it should be classy, because students have to see only the best version of their teacher. Okay. Then, does the staff prepare well for the purpose of appointment? Okay, I have been appointed as a biology teacher. Okay, do I do justice to my role? What are my roles and responsibilities as a biology teacher? Okay, what are the different methods the staff used to teach the students? Can you type in what are the different methods that you use to teach the students, the new methods? Come on. Can you? Because there should be interactive. Yes. Okay. Hands-on, brainstorming, inductive method, project-based learning. Fantastic. Activity method, design thinking, play way, experiential, heuristic, mind maps, flip learning, gamification, pragmatic, art integrated, collaboration, role play, So there are hundreds of methods. And the method could vary from lesson to lesson. Okay. So does the staff use different method for different lesson? Okay. This should be known. Believe me, next question. Is the staff tech savvy? Okay. When I joined Indian School Muscat in 2001, let me tell you, I learned all whatever I have learned now in Indian school, Muscat. They were very particular that our, staff are trained properly in IT. So our worksheets we used to prepare on our own. Then the PowerPoints we used to prepare on our own. Then every marks and all were digitally entered. Then marks were also, everything. Apart from sending an email, I'm being very honest to you teachers, I didn't know how to leverage on the digital aspect of learning. Okay, so after going there, only I learned, and I'm not hiding anything. So find yourself. I have now Chat GPT is something in which is the buzzword today. Are we doing something to understand what Chat GPT is? Okay. Are we learning advanced features of Excel? Okay. Are we, okay, we know so many things. Are we teaching that to our peers? Are we taking efforts to conduct lessons which involve a lot of technology, like downloading, displaying to the students, all this? So are you tech savvy? That is going to, now being tech savvy is very essential for the reason that, that could change the course of the future. Then next, does the staff member use the library as his or her resource? This is something very sad, Many schools invest in fantastic libraries. I know many schools have got close to, each school has got 50, 60,000 books. But the sad part of it is teachers do not use this as a reference for teaching. Okay. So whenever there are two ways to go for it. First is the school allots you a period, okay, wherein you have to specifically go in during that period and do reference during that period. Or the second way of doing it is, passionately go to the library and, find materials that would that the students would enjoy during teaching these lessons. Okay, so do you use your library as a resource? That would be my question to you. Okay, the next, does the staff maintain good interpersonal relationship with other members of his or her team? This is another area of appraisal. Okay, what do I mean by interpersonal relationship? Can you please type? Can you please type? What do I mean when I say interpersonal relationship? What do I mean? What do I mean when I say interpersonal relationship? What do I mean? Cordial relationship with whom? Vinaya, with whom? With whom? With peers. Wonderful. So good relationship with colleagues. Okay. Then all teachers, everyone, collaboration with the team. Fantastic. So do you maintain good relationship with your group? Okay. Do you have one face before your boss? Do you have one face before your head of the department? Or do you have one face for your teacher colleague? Or you are cordial with the entire setting? This could be another area of appraisal, most important area. And some of the teachers do score, low marks in this area. They carry the pressures of them. The teachers do carry, pressures of home and, make the workplace a mess. So my request here, when you leave your house in the morning with whatever pressure, you think we don't have pressures, everybody has got pressure. Okay, everybody has got different problems at home. Who doesn't have a problem? Sometimes your son may be sick, sometimes your daughter may be sick, sometimes your mother-in-law may be sick. Sometimes there could be unforeseen circumstances at home. Now, my request to you is, irrespective of how your day begins, you will carry a wonderful, atmosphere back to your staff room. Create joy, create happiness, because what goes around comes around. You do good, good comes back to you. So, are you maintaining that good interpersonal skills? Are you having that good relationship? Are you having good rapport with your colleagues? This is what uh, some of your bosses would check you on. Next slide. I'll go to the next slide. Yes. 1 minute. Yes. Now, feedback on classroom observations. My suggestion to heads of departments over here is, go for fortnightly classroom observations. Okay, your observations should be unbiased. It should not be based on, oh, I like this particular teacher, or I like that particular teacher. So tell the absolute strengths of the lesson, tell about the where all it needs improvement. So your classroom observations have to be beautifully, it has to be really strong. This is where the fulcrum of the school lies. Okay, without bias, without showing any partiality to the teachers. It goes on. It is not that these things don't happen. But as a teacher, as a head of the department, consciously try to give the best observation, for your teachers. If the lesson has not been good, very politely say, yes, we need improvement in this area. Okay. Then, what kind of a relationship does a staff have with the students? Can you please type, what type of a relationship is the staff expected to have with students? Anybody? Positive, friendly, caring, mentor, cooperative, healthy, fantastic adjectives, approachable, parental, loving, cordial, emotional attachment, superb, gentle and yet strict, supportive, harmonious, responsible, setting the expectation right, okay, understanding from the student's point of view, fabulous, empathetic, connecting with the kids, disciplined. Wow, very, very good. So everybody's philosophy could be very different, but what kind of a relationship does the staff have with students here refers to the non-threatening uh, approach the staff has towards students. Now, the student should not feel scared of the staff. The student should be allowed to bloom. The student should be allowed to express freely, without any fear. There should be an open door policy, so that that students have the freedom to come and speak to the staff at any point of the day. Okay. What kind of relationship does the staff have with his or her parents? Can you type in some responses in the chat box, please? Yes, approachable, fantastic, friendly, polite, respectful, approachable, fantastic. Abdullah, friendly. Maxia, positive. Good rapport. Minu Das. Okay. Richa Gupta, respectful. Okay. Anjana, responsibility. Fabulous. Fantastic. Superb. Be a good listener. Right. Okay. So, what kind of relationship does the staff have with his or her parents? Okay, does she, speak to her in him or her in a language that is very polite? Does she treat him like a customer? Because a customer is like a king in the premises. Okay, so next, does he or she support the student in learning the subject before school hours or after the school hours? Now, why is this question very important? Come on, type in the chat box. Yes, can contact anytime for the grievances. Preeta, very good. Okay. Why should there be, help from the teacher before or after school hours? Why? Why? Not slow learners. Why? No, not to reduce their stress. I wouldn't call it that way. We will know if parental support is there. Okay, extra attention. No, I'm looking for some other answer, actually. Okay. My question is, why should he or she support the student in learning the subject before school hours or after the school hours? Why? What is the main reason? Both, nope, no. Anuja, no. I'm looking for some other answer. Okay, no. I'll give you the reason. I don't believe that any student, especially till grade 8, okay, they should not go for tuition. Okay, it's my dream actually. I never like students going for tuition. So if the teacher supports the student a little before school hours or a little after school hours, see, unless the child is very weak, generally all these academic issues can be addressed by the teacher. Am I clear? Right. Then, does the teacher resolve fights in the classroom or just lets it go? Okay. Now tell me, what kind of fights happen in the classroom? Can you type? What kind of fights do you find in the classroom? So what do you find fights? Misbehavior, ego. Okay, ego between teacher and child. Physical fights, yes. Okay. Disciplinary, this thing between students, bullying, very good. Ego among peers. Sometimes they do have mental problems among students of senior and junior, teasing. Okay, fantastic. From silly fights to complicated ones. Sometimes when you praise smart students, insult each other. Now, so fantastic. So small issues among peer, feeling restless in class. So does the many teachers, some of them, they just let it go. Okay, why should I bother? Okay, about this fight in the classroom? It is for the mother to sort it out at home, or my other colleague who is good at resolving disputes, he or she can solve it. So, do you as a teacher resolve this in the classroom? Does the teacher give opportunities to all her students in the class? This is one area where you need to give attention. Now, what I have seen over years is I find Ram, Mohan, Satya, Dharma, suppose 4 children are good in speaking. Only those 4 children are repeatedly given the chance for speaking. Now, why is that? Because your effort to train this student is minimized, right? So the teachers find an easy way out. Now, when I say this does not apply to all of you, please. So just take down these points. Just see whether you are doing this or not doing this. That's all. So if you are, not doing this, absolutely fine. If you're doing certain areas, if you are, if certain areas need improvement, I think you should work towards improvement. So does the teacher give opportunities to all her students? Okay. Otherwise, the same that staff children they will take. Easy way of training. Okay, to get into good books of staff. All this should not be encouraged by the students. So in general, is the teacher fair to her students? Okay. Then does he or she plan for all the activities so as to accommodate the kinesthetic learner, the auditory learner, and the visual learner? Who is a kinesthetic learner? Who is a kinesthetic learner? Nope. Learns through movement. Renuka Pillai, first one to answer correctly. Fantastic. So hands-on. Okay. Fantastic. Learning by doing. Vinaya. Yes. Fantastic. Maxia. Fantastic. So very, very good. So are you having activities for different types of learners in your classroom? Kinesthetic, auditory, visual. So for every lesson, plan for each of these students. So one activity if you're having for visual, one activity you plan for auditory, one activity you plan for kinesthetic, depending upon the size of the lesson, right? Depending upon the size of the lesson. Let me go to the next slide. Now, does he or she as a teacher adapt lifelong learning? Now, can somebody tell me, can teachers share with me, what is the course that you have done last year? Have you done any course last year? Or last 2-3 years? I want the name of the course, please. I want the name of the course. What is the course that you have done over 2-3 years? Do you do a course every year? Nobody is writing? Now, hybrid learning teaching, very good. Diploma in Montessori after completing MPhil in 2008. Fantastic. Now, my request to you over here is, when I say lifelong learning, my request to you, learn something new, okay? Your school need not have to pay you. You learn something new, maybe a short course, okay? And Udemy course, which is free. Something that will add value to your teaching career. Now, every year, mandatorily, I do a course. Now, if you ask me what course I have done over the last year, which spilled over to March of this year, okay? March or April of this year, believe me, with all my work, I did a leadership program course from IIM Calcutta, okay? And every year, believe me, I do one course that adds value to my career. So why do you need to do this? So that you stay where you are at least, uh, uh, it is very tough. I understand, because I know of teachers, believe me, who say that I have done MSc in mathematics, madam, 25 years ago. But over the past 25 years, he or she has not learned anything. Okay. So because technology is changing, education, there is a paradigm shift in the method. So every year, my request, and generally institutions place, lot of good institutions place a lot of value in this area. Okay, then, so please, my request as a humble teacher, please go for lifelong learning. Small course, no need of any high funda course also. This year I propose to do something on school counseling, because I want, to address certain counseling issues in my school. I want to be a better counselor. So I thought probably I should equip myself in this area. So I'm going to do a course in this area. So every year I do, believe me. Then, does he or she correct the notebooks and worksheets regularly for the students? I have seen, sorry to tell you, teachers, some of the teachers, just keep the worksheets under the desk. Some of them, are not very serious about the correction aspect of the process that takes place in the class. Okay, then does he or she frequently praise the student for the slightest improvement in the work done? Okay, do you praise your student for the slightest thing done? Oh, fabulous, beta. Fantabulous, my child. What a neat work. What a splendid work. Oh, your experiment is amazing. How beautifully you have narrated the story in the classroom. Okay, how is that you are able to, enact drama from the play? How is that you are able to uh, uh, tell the tables of 25 without using a calculator? It could be anything. So your slightest possible praise for the student is what is going to be like how to tell you, like a tonic for the students. And remember, teachers, the student loves the subject or selects the subject only primarily because of you. Okay, that is one thing that you need to understand. Then, does he or she just put long, big, sluggish ticks in the notebooks? I hate those ticks. I'm sorry to tell you. Those sort of those big ticks which have no love, which have no passion, which have nothing, just like that, cutting seamlessly, cutting words in between, and not checked properly or erratically checked, So, or there are so many errors, which one could just see when the notebook is in front of your eyes. So, are there such sluggish ticks? Okay. Does he or she take part in regular online workshops that would improve his skill or her skill in teaching? How many online workshops have you taken part so far? How many online workshops have you taken part so far? Tell me. How many? 70. Fantastic. So many. Fantastic. So through each of these workshops, you get to know even 5 tips that I have given today. If you incorporate in your work, your life is going to be wonderful and beautiful, right? Yes. So does the staff frequently take leave? I want to tell you one thing. So every year we used to get leave, but believe me, I have never taken a CL at all. Even now, last year, 13 days of CL are given to all of us. I have not taken 1 day CL. Yes, taking CL should be taken only when there is an absolute requirement by the staff. Okay, it should not be taken because the leave is given to the staff member. This is one request that I place to all staff in this, to all the teachers in this forum. Okay, so does the staff frequently take leave? Okay, this will be another important area. This shows that if you are present at least most of the days in the year, it is a reflection of your commitment or your responsibility towards your students, right? Then let me go to the next one. Yes. Okay. Does the staff have integrity towards the institution? Okay. Now, what type of integrity does one expect over here? Okay. Okay. We'll answer Dr. Parmanand's question in the question and answer session. Okay. So, what do you mean by integrity? What do you mean by integrity? Can somebody answer here? What do you mean by integrity towards the institution? Self-esteem, honesty, truthful, loyalty, yes, not gossiping, correct, right? So Warren Buffett beautifully said, integrity is something, integrity is a very costly gift, okay? It is not meant for cheap people, so do your staff have integrity towards the institution, that loyalty towards the institution? Do they gossip about their institution, with their, so-called friends, peers, or from their other school colleagues? Okay, do they have that? And there are people who do. That is where staff are appraised. Then next, does the teacher conduct the formative test as per plan and record the marks without any mistake? Believe me, I knew of why I'm putting all this. I knew of a teacher who gave 5 out of 5 to all her students in the class. Okay, so that was when I caught these teachers and told them to submit their formative test papers for checking to the head of the department. So conducting the formative tests without helping the children, that is where you will know the gap in learning. Okay, and not just give the marks. Are you recording the right mark for your student? That is also very important. Then, does the staff use appropriate and interesting teaching aids for the purpose of teaching? Okay. Can you tell me, teachers, what are the interesting teaching aids that you can use? What all can you use? To flashcards, okay, audio-visual charts, wonderful, PPT, videos, dialogues, real-life objects, comic strips, live specimens, PPTs, wonderful videos, conversations, case studies, role play. Okay, now a laboratory activity. Now a role play is not an aid. Please remember. Okay, I asked you for an aid. Okay, real objects are again aids. Graphic organizers are aids. Okay, very, very good. Okay, so are you using appropriate aids for the lesson, for the purpose of teaching? Okay, this is another very interesting question. What is that extra bit that you can do for your institution apart from your regular and routine work? We all do routine work. All this comes under our roles and responsibilities. What is that one extra thing that you have organized last year for your school? Can you write it in the chat box, please? Can you again help? Okay, you have helped weak children. Okay, teachers training. Okay, you have conducted teachers training. Fantastic. Now, community service, you have fantastic. Then competitions, you have helped weak children. Okay, special classes every day. Shazia, very good. Professional development workshops you have conducted. Explain going down to the level of understanding. Okay, this is again, teachers, yes, cleanliness drive, intensive training program for students, very good. CCA club, okay, organizing quiz, very good. PLC training, fantastic. Embrace innovation in technology, fabulous. So what is that extra bit that you have done for your institution, which does not encompass in your role of teaching and routine work? Okay. Does the staff contribute to the development of co-curricular activities for the welfare of the students? So tell me, what are the different co-curricular activities? What are the different co-curricular activities that you have in your school? What is that you have contributed to the development? Karate, wow, fantastic. Yoga, SUPW, public speaking, Lovely. Arts, violence, archery, debates, so dance, silambam, wonderful. Chess, declamation, abacus, MUN, theatre, exhibition, health and fitness, horse riding, wonderful. Financial literacy, new subject, yes. Then poem recitation, yoga again. Fabulous. Soft skills, fantastic. Kahoot, blog writing. So, have you contributed to the development of co-curricular activities? So, if you have done, you should have the, support of documentation to evidence that yes, I have done this for the school. Next, let me go to the next one. Is the feedback from the student and parent encouraging about teachers' performance? Okay, so it is not only about the student and the teacher. Does the student give absolute good feedback about your teaching in your school, the way you handle him or her in the class? Do the parents appreciate your work? Do they give words of praise for the noble work that you're doing, right? So, what is the best compliment that you have received so far? Can you type in the box? Can you type in the box? What is the best compliment that you have received so far from a parent? What is the best compliment? Nobody? Nobody? Oh, dedicated teacher, Sajita, fantastic. Okay, good teacher, Sanish, fantastic. Appreciation, you are the best. My son liked you very much. Fantastic. Now yes, passionate. Thank you for being my child's teacher. A child wrote a poem in Tamil. Child likes the subject because of you. You're very hardworking. My child has developed because of you. You show individual care. You are showing the right path to my child. You are mom of my child in school. Okay, child touched your feet. Fantastic. It's a relaxed class. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, so yes. So does she ensure that the student's work is complete in school? Another very important area. Okay, students, you give work for students. Students write the answers. Some of them complete it beautifully. Some of them don't complete it. And your only job is to write incomplete in the notebook and send it back to the students for home. Is this fair? Is this fair on your part to do that? So you have to ensure that students' work is complete in school. So either call them in the morning, find a way. Don't send them for PE period. Don't send them, retain them a day after school, for some time. Find a strategy within yourselves, to ensure that students' work is complete in school. Does the staff use school resources carefully, just like his or her own? Okay, so electricity is on, AC is on, light is on. This is school's money. Why should I bother? Why should I bother? That should not be your attitude. Okay, every chalk that you take. Anyway, nowadays chalks are not used. Many of them use temporary markers. So markers, then your charts, then every resource of the school, the water taps, from where the water comes down for filling the water bottles. Any small thing, please ensure that you use these resources carefully, just like it is your own. Suppose a tap had broken, in your house. What is the first thing that you would do? You would call the plumber and get it fixed. Here in school, report the matter immediately to the HOD or to the vice principal. to ensure that they send the maintenance person immediately to fix the leakage in the tap. Do you do that? That is what you should, take care of. Does the staff use research as a tool for teaching? How many of you all use research as a tool for teaching? Can you type in, please? Yes. What type of research do you do for your students? What type of research? Sunita, I don't want yes. What type of research do you do? Case study. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. What else? Only case study? Give them investigatory project, library resources, work. Okay. Yes. Any more? Vocabulary enhancement. Okay. Reasoning. Numberless problems. Portfolio. Okay. Search extra information for a particular topic. Creative writing. Fabulous. So, are you, using research as a tool? Now, next, does the staff take part in overnight student activities of the school? I remember that there would be a group of teachers who will correctly tell, madam, my husband, and it will be all fake, let me tell you. My husband, doesn't allow me to stay overnight in school. Absolutely, I have a problem. My husband doesn't allow me. My mother-in-law doesn't. Some fake reply will come. So somebody else does your job instead. So we should award more marks to that person, right? So are you taking part in overnight student activities of your school? Okay. So what type of overnight student activities do you have in your school? Can you please type? Can you type, please? Annual day, okay, camp, Melfrin, correct answer. Very good. Very good. Any other? Or where they are forced to go for 2 or 3 days. Certain teachers do accompany them, excursions, right? Shailaja, very good. So, very, very good. Study trips, Irfana, very good. Okay, sports meet. Sometimes they go to other places. NCC camp, pajama party, very good. Study trips, right? So, so are you doing that? Are you taking part in these activities of the school? Then, quite a few children, I know, are living with single parents for various reasons. Now, are you helping such children by taking care of their emotional needs? Are you taking care of their emotional needs? Okay. Do you encourage reading habits among children? Okay, what is the last book that you have read? Can somebody tell me? What is the last book that you have read? Maybe last week. Is there any book that you have read? So unless you read, you cannot. Alchemist, fantastic. So there is this is it's like a sort of a legacy that has to be passed on. Prodigal daughter, Invisible Man, Verity, wonderful, The Big Rain. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, lovely. Small story books, fantastic. It could be anything. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Achhe Bolne Ki Kala, very good. Vamika, Ikigai, wonderful. Sudha Murthy's book you have read, Minu, very good. Okay, so fantastic. So, do you encourage reading habits? You can encourage reading habits only if you possess them by your own. Okay, fantastic. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, next, does the staff encourage tuitions? Tuitions, as far as possible, don't encourage tuition. Okay, now, can you tell me what do you do when staff gossip about their peers? Panchatarta ki kahaniya, very good. Okay, what do you do when your friends gossip about somebody else? Do you listen to the gossip, or what is that you do? Can you type in the box? Can you type in the box? Abstain from it, just leave the place. Wonderful. Ignore, don't involve, ignore and avoid it. Zero reaction, no encouragement. Fantastic. super fantastic. Okay, ignore, never mind, just leave it. Yes, brush it off. Leave, listen and leave it there itself. Fabulous. That's what I expect from all of you. Okay. So does the staff have a short-term vision and a long-term vision to where the school needs to be? Okay. Yeah, okay. Please write one short-term vision you had for your school. Please type in one short-term vision that you had for your school. Please tell me what is the short-term vision that you have for your school. Student-centric education, okay. All-round development of children. All this is long-term vision, okay. All this what you are telling is long. Yes, vocabulary and fluency to get 100% results is short-term. You know, communication English is long-term. You know, okay. So you know the difference. See, anything which is achievable over a short period of time, short term, anything which takes a longer period to achieve will be called as a long-term vision. Is the staff involved in providing remedial help for slow learners? What is the attitude of the staff towards handling children with autism, dyslexia, ADHD, hyperactivity, etc.? What do you do for children who are suffering from hyperactivity? Tell me. What do you do for children? Just tell them, sit in one place. What is that? What is that you do for hyperactive children? Busy them. Yes. Individual care. Okay. Counselors will be involved. Give them a differentiated learning. Okay. Assign them roles. Special attention. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Is the staff respectful about to our authorities or hierarchy in the school? Some of us, let me tell you, disrespect our authorities. It could be, some of us do it. So it could be our head of the department, it could be principal, it could be vice principal, it could be your own colleague. Okay. So are you respectful to the hierarchy in the school? Because later when you get that position, only when you respect somebody, the group will respect you. Okay. Does the staff involve in any activity which maligns the institution? Okay. So do you involve yourself in any activity, okay, wherein the name of the institution is at stake, okay? So if you don't do it, straight away your appraisal will give you 5 points, okay? Is the staff a reflective learner? Does the staff reflect on the work done and considers that improvement for the next class? Does he or she share knowledge with her peers? Now, what I am knowing little, I'm sharing with you all. So, do you share the same way with your peers? Is my question to you. Okay, then let me go to slide 9. Okay, now, next, I've given you so many points today. I'll share this PPT with you all as well. So, it's nothing to be bothered about. How many times do these appraisals need to be done? Classroom observation, it is mandatory twice a month. Now, if the school size is large, appraisals can be done twice a year. Otherwise, I recommend it 3 times in a year. Okay. Then, what are the qualities of an appraiser? What is that I should have? Okay, to give you the right remarks for your work done. I should be very, very honest. I should project your strengths first. I should be in a position to speak about all the good things that you do first. Then, no to using the word weakness. There is nothing called as weakness. Everybody is a capable individual. Then, you should rephrase your sentence as the suggested area for improvement could be, you could work on with your students who are having ADHD. See the way I'm phrasing my sentence. Then, next important thing, I know Sarita ma'am so well. I cannot talk about Sarita ma'am to Salam sir, or Salam sir cannot talk about me to Sarita ma'am. Okay, if we are appraisers, I'm just giving you an example. So don't speak about one person's appraisal to another staff member. Next, appraisal has to be done only in a closed room in presence of the head of the department or the vice principal. Then, after giving the review, please get it signed by all involved in the appraisal. You always remember this is only for improvement. So no threatening words to be used. No what you call demotivating words to be used. Remember, your role is only of a mentor, okay? And the self-improvement is the only mantra that we are providing for the teacher through this appraisal. Now, I know for a fact that sometimes we have likes and dislikes, okay? And your like and dislike should not come in a way of giving scores to teachers. Please remember that. And some of us, that appraisal form is oh, what a headache. The school has got no other work. And some of us just put a tick without having a rationale for the tick, So just don't put a tick so as to just complete this process. Then next, some of these teachers, let me tell you, okay, do give gifts, okay, to their appraisees. So my request to the appraisers is don't accept gifts. Don't, there should be a line of professionalism that is drawn, and keep noting complaints in a complaint register, as well as good work also done by teachers in a register. Okay. Now, how do you execute a staff appraisal meeting? See, this is one very, very, important aspect. If you can, so main aim is to provide feedback, swearing against goal, and inviting feedback. So when you are providing feedback, where a manager weighs in on how they viewed the experience, then swearing against goals, you note the areas of improvement and also indicate to the employee how he or she has progressed. Then how do you invite feedback? You should not keep on talking. You should also value your employees in such a way that they are given a scope to talk. They should be fearless people. They should, come to you for the smallest possible thing, and you, because you make their working environment excellent. So you allow the employees to speak, and also, give them that required support for their functioning. Okay. Then see, this is one very, I would like you to focus on what you need to do before an appraisal. You invite the teachers well ahead of time. Let them also know what points they are to discuss. Okay. Then the next important thing, you schedule sufficient time. Book a suitable room where you won't be disturbed. It is not that 10 people should come in and out of your room. Conduct employees appraisals in a very timely manner and provide also a self-evaluation sheet. Then what should happen during an appraisal? You will encourage dialogue. Allow the employee to share what have their challenges been, what were the problems that they have faced that it could become better next time. Next, you could also Define the goals and contents to be discussed at the beginning of the meeting. Always be an attentive listener. Be a, polite listener. Be a kind listener. Okay. And document all these points as well as takeaway. Next, reflect on how the meeting went, not only for you, but for also the teacher. Are there any points where you could do better in the next appraisal meeting? Now I will note down, okay? And I will, question myself. Could I have been better in this slide? Could I have been better in the other slide? Then create a record of the meeting that both the manager and the employee acknowledge. There should be a documented evidence. Then support the employee in implementing. Now they will say, I will conduct 5 formative tests. I will take care of the dispersal time properly during exit. Suppose. Then the third thing, I will ensure that there are no complaints from the parents in my class. I will ensure that students read the newspaper during my English period. It could be anything. So when you are giving that goals to the employee, okay, what happens is support them to succeed in the goal. That is where the role of a leader lies. Helping your teachers to succeed is the most important goal of a leader. Okay, so Sarita ma'am, this is, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this is what I had wanted to speak today about the appraisal. So I would like to take in questions. If any of our teachers have questions, please. Madam.
Dear participants, the floor is open now. Deepti ma'am, please take over. Participants, Ms. Habiba.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. You can ask. If you have a doubt, you may go ahead with your question. Priya ma'am is ready for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Habiba.
Yes.
Had you raised your hand, ma'am? Had you raised your hand, ma'am? Did you have a question? Priya ma'am, I believe madam doesn't have a question.
Yes, yeah.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No question.
Okay.
No question.
Any teacher who wants to ask me any question on the session that I have conducted today, please ask me. I'll be very happy to answer.
Priya ma'am, can we stop sharing the screen so that it's more, we can see the participants?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ma'am, there was a question in the chat box regarding the courses that are available, short-term online courses that teachers can do to improve their skills as such.
They're asking for short-term courses, is it?
Short-term courses, and they ask even if the link is possible to be shared. If it is possible for the links that to be shared.
Yeah, okay. You want the links to be shared? Short-term courses? Yes.
Yes.
See, they can go to this Udemy, okay? And just if they type, I can give them 4 or 5 links, okay? There are counseling courses. Then Indira Gandhi National Open University conducts courses in creative writing. There are, digital courses, in card making. There's so many. You put it in the search browser. You'll get hundreds of courses, and you will find that you will could be on gardening, could be on communication skills. There's so many that are coming up. So I don't think there should be a problem about that. Yes. Any other question?
And one participant has asked whether the children.
Deepti ma'am, there is a problem with your audio. Priya ma'am, there is No, there is still a problem. I'll read out a question that has come
Okay.
from Miss Sunita Jagdishan. Priya ma'am, this is for you.
Yeah.
In student-staff relationship, how to connect with the students? If I'm strict, they're not showing interest. If I'm jovial, they're not being serious in the learning. Can you suggest any tips?
Yes. See, nowadays the children are a little different. They don't like strict teachers. Let me tell you very honestly. The actual skill lies in being friendly with them and getting our work done. That is my suggestion. Even last week there were some challenges with my school students. I take a very balanced, friendly approach, and get them on our side and get them to do what we want them to do.
Deepti ma'am, have you checked your audio? Because we have one more question about how to make the slow writers to write fast.
Yes, I can answer that question. See, many students, again, don't like to write. Okay. So they find it very boring, especially with the advent of computers and things like that. Many of them like to even type. And if you notice, some of these answers and all are these one word, restricted to a line or so. So slow writers, you could probably ask them to give them 5 lines, give them 5 lines and tell them to write within a period of time. So initially the period of time could be 10 minutes and that could be brought down gradually, after a couple of sessions.
I can't see any question. Deepti ma'am, can you see any question? I think ma'am yeah, there's one question, ma'am. Would you read it out, Deepti ma'am?
Yes.
Question is that how can we encourage the student to writing?
Yeah, how to encourage students? See, praise is the key for anything, and for the smallest task, give them the stars, give them the smileys, uh, uh, stand them, help your students to succeed. That is the way you can, help in encouragement. Moment the encouragement is there, the self-motivation is there, handwriting, everything they can achieve.
Gayatri ma'am, you can unmute.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening.
Ma'am, regarding reading habit, there is a set of students in our school who is going beyond it actually. Like they started reading books initially. Now they have only the habit of reading books even during class hours. Now they started publishing few books.
Fantastic.
It is a very good thing, but they are deviating from the academics. So how to handle?
See, so what you should probably call, if I were you, I would call a celebrated author, who has academically excelled. Make that person give a talk to the students of your school, To publish a book is not easy at all, please,
Yes,
or to write even few stories for a book is not easy at all, So to be disqualified is the easiest thing that could happen. And when they are like this, it means that they are gifted children. Make some of these top people to come to invite some top resource persons to your school. Ask these resource persons to speak to these students on a one-to-one basis, trying to tell them that, yes, what you're doing about your stories is fine, but you should also be equally good in academics to succeed in life.
Okay. Sure, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Then the participant has asked, are there measures to give special attention to the hyper and autistic students in a normal classroom?
Yes. See, hyperactive children, if you could, all that you need to do is to handle them with a lot of love, care, and understanding. They only need your support and understanding. So if you tell them, you be very strict with them or be very unkind with them or their parents, it is going to have a debilitating effect, within your classrooms. So my request is handle them with care, kindness, support, and very beautifully somebody mentioned that we do follow differentiated instruction, right? So finding out their level, but this requires a lot of support from the school as well, in terms of resources, because these hyperactive children, for the hyperactive children to perform well in a regular class is a little bit of challenge, especially when there are about 40 to 42 children in a class. So with such children, please ensure that or you take the help of your co-teacher, make her sit in your class when he or she is free, ensure that, the classroom management is done well, even though you have this hyperactive child, by planning well for the class. You should plan also well for the class. Yeah.
Maxia ma'am, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Maxia Fernandez.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. My
Yeah, good
question
evening.
was like, especially in cases where the student is very good in the physical activity, but the concept of doing the same in the theory doesn't work well with them. So how do we address those
Now,
kids?
let me, it's Sachin Tendulkar, sorry to tell you, quote an example of such a great legend. Sachin Tendulkar has, not gone beyond the boundary of 10th standard, right? But he is the world's greatest batsman, right? So I also know for a fact that students who are into excessive physical, who have the excessive skill of, taking part in this physical education, normally don't do well in academics. So your aim should be to identify which game he or she is skilled at and start training for those children in those particular games. Is it quite clear?
Yes, ma'am. But what happens when other teachers don't give a positive feedback to that particular child? So how does that affect the
Obviously it will affect. No way. See, this should be a whole school policy. This should be done by your principal, okay, or your vice principal, okay, wherein that fine, everybody, you mean to say all of us are good in everything? I don't think so. So fine, physical education, some of us are very good. How is that some of our students who are not very good in academics win so many medals at the national games or at the CBSE cluster meet, or so many things? Okay, so everybody cannot do. So I think as a school policy, you should tell your principal that the teachers should not discourage any student from this. Hello.
Thank you, ma'am. And just a request or a suggestion. Like usually the PE period is used as punishment when they don't complete the other activities, especially academic. If that could be removed and some other measures could be used, I think that would really help kids to develop them physically.
And Sachin Tendulkar did one more very good thing, and which CBSE also followed, but many schools in paper have it, but they do not practice it in reality. It was mentioned that every class right up till 10th standard, in fact, should have one PE period per day. But I'm very sorry, many schools don't have it. In fact, from 6th to 10th, I know for a fact that many schools have only 2 periods per week. That is very, very sad. I really wish if CBSE could do a thorough checkup of the schools in this matter. It's very sad, and PE period should not be used for giving your academic punishments, please, because some students, remember, they cannot do academics whatsoever. So if you rob that child PE period, how is the child going to perform in life? Please don't do it if you have been doing it.
Ma'am, thank you so much. And I'm very lucky to be in a school where sports and academics is given the same importance. And I really feel proud to be a part of the school. Thank you so much for your
Fantastic.
suggestion.
Yeah.
We have Miss Rani Leo. Rani ma'am, you can unmute yourself. Rani Leo. Am I audible, Miss Rani?
There's one very good question, ma'am. Ramandeep Kaur.
Ma'am, we have another question also, which I felt was very good. How to deal with children who are smart and active, but very aggressive and complete their own work first. They take every work as a competition and do not enjoy the process of doing an activity.
Where is it, ma'am? I would like to.
It's somewhere at the back, ma'am. So where children take every activity as a competition and they don't enjoy the activity doing in a group.
Yeah, this is you have to blame the parents. Let me tell you. Okay, all this stems from the parents. Especially, you will find all this in the lower classes. Okay, where what they are not able to achieve, they force their children to achieve. So this should be mentioned in the first parent orientation. You should not give clues of these competitions and all well in advance. So because if you give them well in advance, what happens is the preparation for the competition becomes so intense and so severe. Okay. So I don't think you should intimate to the parents well in advance. Otherwise, the joy for the child, is lost.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Miss Rani Leo, you may unmute yourself. And ask your question. Rani.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening. Yeah. Good evening. Yes, ma'am. Tell me. Tell me, ma'am.
Rani, ma'am, you may unmute yourself and ask your question. In the meanwhile, for all the participants who are asking about the feedback and certificate link, I'm posting it again. Please save the link and you may make the payment tomorrow as well. If you can, it's the same link. It's active. So you may use it anytime you wish. So you may save it and use it for future reference as well. And there was a question regarding payment from Kuwait. If it's not done, ma'am, you'll have to ask any of your family members to make the payment from India and do the needful. I hope I've cleared the query regarding the certificate. It'll take a couple of working days, ma'am, because Vidya ma'am, because the designing department and the certificate department is a different department altogether. The recorded video is available on YouTube and it will be available. I believe the link will be shared also when it will be shared. I'll just talk to Dr. Salam and he'll do the needful.
And ma'am, I will share the PPT so you can mail it to all the parts.
Yes, ma'am. I'll convey this to Dr. Salam.
I'll just send it after the program. I will mail it to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll convey it to Dr. Salam. Any other question? If Rani ma'am is not able to unmute herself, Rani ma'am, if you're not able to unmute, please post your query on the chat box. In the meanwhile, is there anyone else who would like to ask any query? Otherwise, we may wind up, Priya ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Rani
nowadays, children are more into mobiles. So how to control that moment and to divert their mind from that mobile? Because from this online section, children are more interested in mobiles now. So parents keep often asking me how to take them off from the mobile. So any idea for that?
Yes. See, first and foremost, even 2 days back or 3 days back, I had a 10th standard parent, who had come to me for some other issue, for some subject change or something. So the first thing that I told, take the mobile off from your child. Okay, that should be done by the parent. Next, usefully employing that time in in reading a book or watching the TV. with this thing, spending time with the grandparents. Why does the mobile come? The mobile comes into hand because nobody is actually attending the child. So if the child is attended to, by or encouraged to read a book, or you can play that business also with your family. Anything you do as a collaborative unit, I don't think you'll have this problem of a moment. I never had problem with my children. I was quite strict. I was quite friendly. I was quite lenient. I spent my evening times with all my children, which most of the parents don't do. This is the problem with this generation parents. So if you take care of your children well, I don't think that this problem will come at all at home.
Okay, any more questions?
Yes, there's one question, ma'am. One child is not interested in studies because of sophisticated life. How to tackle the child? Yes, Parvada Vardini. Okay. So such students, you counsel them separately and speak to the parents separately. This is the only way to tackle it, because he only is having a sophisticated life, not others. Correct, ma'am?
Absolutely, ma'am. Any other question? Vidya, ma'am, did you have a question? I think we can wind up now. Deepti, ma'am, please do the needful.
Yes, ma'am.
No, there's a problem with your audio, Deepti. No, it's still not clear.
Is it audible now?
It's better, but there is still a lot of static. Priya ma'am, can you hear the static in the audio? I believe there was some static.
Yes, there was.
Unfortunately, no. Priya ma'am, just a minute. I'll have to,
No
stop
problem.
you here. There's one question from Mr. Abdullah. Please give examples of analyzing regarding topics based on primary. So this has been a persistent question.
Yeah, fine. Please give it. Now, when we talk of analyzing, it means understanding questions. The problem with our boards is they give questions which are name the following. Which year was this king born, or which year? See, so your questioning thing should be more on the why aspect, not also on the what aspect of it, or it should be more on the why aspect as well as the how aspect of the concept. So is that understood, sir? Abdullah sir, is it understood? Suppose I'm talking about photosynthesis. How does photosynthesis take place? That why is photosynthesis essential? If you focus on the why aspect as well as the how aspect, all your examples fall into that category. Yeah, he's understood, ma'am. Yes,
we'll go. We'll go with one last question. Sridevi M, you may unmute yourself. Priya ma'am, is it okay if we can take one more question?
Yes, please. Anytime.
Sridevi M, this will be the last question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, after the COVID, students are more engaged in mobile phone, and parents are saying that if they do not give the phone to the students, they start sleeping, or they say that no, we don't study.
No. Wrong, madam. Please ask your principal to address this issue through, interactive workshops meant for parents separately, for students separately. It has to be, it appears to be a school issue. So if it is a school issue, please ask your principal to address it. If it is a classroom issue where a few children do adopt it, my request to you, talk politely to the parents and get the child off the mobile phone, please. Everything is in your hands.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, Dipti ma'am, we can wind up now. If you can.
Okay, ma'am. Is my voice clear? Is it audible
this is
now?
much better, ma'am. Much better.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative and insightful session. I'm sure that everyone present here is now well versed with the topic. This session will definitely help us in becoming better teachers for our students. There were very wonderful tips that you have given us, especially the use of the library that you have encouraged among the teachers as such. Dear participants, the link of the certificate and the feedback is already posted. You are requested to fill it up with all the necessary details. So with this, we would like to wind up the session. I, Dipti Lewis, along with the CBSE Bharat Sahodaya Complex, would like to express my sincere gratitude to Ma'am Priya for her gracious presence and fruitful session. On behalf of each one of us, I would like to thank Sir Salam for his rock solid support and encouragement. Thank you, sir, for bringing the teaching fraternity together, helping us to add teaching learning process and experience. A big thanks, excuse me, sir. A big thanks to Mr. Arun Mohan and his technical team for the flawless execution of today's program. The most importantly, thanks a million times to all the participants for their enthusiasm. I sincerely hope that you all would have gained knowledge from this wonderful session. Dear participants, thank you for attending today's event and for sharing your valuable insights and feedbacks. We appreciate your contribution and hope that you will find this session to be valuable learning experience. Your support means a lot to us. We want to extend a heartfelt thank for attending this session today. Now I request Ma'am Sarita to wind up the session.
Thank you, Deepti ma'am. Priya ma'am, that was a wonderful session as usual. SQUAF and what you have done for us with SQUAF has been mind-boggling and amazing. Thank you so much. The chat box is full. The chat box is full of compliments and praises, and it's always a pleasure to have you with us, ma'am. On Deepti ma'am, a job well done. It was your first session. A job well done. Thank you, Arun sir, for your support as always. All participants, thank you for joining us. We sincerely hope we have earned the privilege of your time. Priya ma'am, thanks once again until we meet once again in the future.
Yes.
Thank you, participants. Have a wonderful and a restful weekend. Good night, everyone.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.